To kick things off, Winston Churchill once said, "History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it." And indeed, he did more than just write history. He shaped it. Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill, born on the 30th of November, 1874, came from an aristocratic family, the Spencer Churchills, a lineage steeped in political power and prestige. But his early life was far from a fairy tale. Educationally, Churchill struggled. He was not a standout student, grappling with what we now understand as a learning disability. These struggles, however, didn't deter him. Instead, they shaped a resilience that would become the bedrock of his character. It was this resilience that led him to the British Army, where he found a sense of purpose and belonging. As a young officer, he saw action on the front lines, an experience that not only tested his mettle, but also honed his leadership skills. His military career, however, was just a stepping stone to his true calling. Churchill's destiny lay in the world of politics and public service, a world his family knew all too well. Churchill's public recognition began to take shape during the Boer War at the turn of the 20th century. As a war correspondent, he chronicled the brutal realities of conflict, captivating the British public with his vivid reports. His daring escape from a Boer prison camp only added to his growing legend. From the schoolyard to the battlefield, Churchill's early years were characterized by challenges and triumphs. His struggles at school taught him the value of perseverance. His time in the army and his experiences as a war correspondent instilled a fierce courage and a deep understanding of global politics. These experiences, these lessons, would come to define his indomitable spirit. As we delve deeper into Churchill's life, remember this: every challenge he faced, every triumph he achieved, was a stepping stone, a building block in the making of one of history's most influential leaders. Churchill's early experiences, from the schoolyard to the battlefield, shaped the tenacious leader he would become. Having carved out a name for himself, Churchill was ready to enter the political arena. In the year 1900, a young and ambitious Winston Churchill set foot in the British Parliament, marking the beginning of a political career that would alter the course of history. Churchill's political journey was far from ordinary. He was a man who did not shy away from controversy or the spotlight. This audacity was evident when he made a daring switch from the Conservative Party to the Liberal Party early in his career, a move that was seen as political suicide by many. Yet, Churchill's political acumen and knack for persuasion helped him navigate this risky path. His tenacity and resilience were put to the test during World War I. As the First Lord of the Admiralty, Churchill was in charge of the Royal Navy, the most powerful naval force in the world at the time. This position put him at the heart of Britain's war effort and in the crosshairs of intense scrutiny. One of the most notable and arguably controversial chapters of Churchill's career was his involvement in the Gallipoli campaign. A mission that aimed to knock the Ottoman Empire out of the war turned into a disastrous military failure. The fallout from Gallipoli was severe. Churchill was blamed for the catastrophe and was demoted from his position. This was a low point in his career, but Churchill, with his indomitable spirit, was not one to be easily deterred. He returned to the Conservative Party and continued to play a vital role in the government. Despite the setbacks, his political career was far from over. In fact, it was just beginning to take flight. The man who was once blamed for a military disaster was gradually climbing the political ladder, inching closer to the highest office in the land. Despite setbacks, Churchill's political career was on an upward trajectory, leading him to the doorstep of the highest office in the land. In 1940, at the peak of World War II, Churchill rose to the occasion, becoming Britain's Prime Minister. It was a time of great peril, a crucible of conflict and fear that would test the mettle and resolve of any leader. Yet, Churchill was no ordinary leader. His leadership was marked by a fiery spirit and an indomitable will. He was a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness, rallying his beleaguered nation with speeches that echoed with a clarion call to courage and resilience. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. "We shall never surrender," he declared, his voice resounding with the determination of a nation refusing to bow to tyranny. Churchill's strategic genius was instrumental in steering Britain through the stormy waters of the Second World War. Despite suffering heavy losses, he made the audacious decision to fight on against the formidable force of Nazi Germany. His foresight and tactical acumen turned the tide of the war, transforming Britain's seemingly inevitable defeat into a victory for the Allies. But Churchill's influence extended beyond the battlefield. He was instrumental in the formation of the United Nations, envisioning a world where nations could resolve their disputes through dialogue, not war. Churchill believed in the power of unity and collaboration, principles that continue to guide the United Nations today. Leading Britain through its darkest hour, Churchill's resolve and strategic acumen were tested and proven. His leadership was not merely a product of circumstance, but a testament to his character, to his unwavering belief in the strength of the human spirit and the power of unity. Winston Churchill, the indomitable leader who shaped history, continues to inspire leaders and nations, a beacon of courage and resilience in a world often mired in conflict and despair. Post-war, Churchill's impact continued to resonate, leaving a lasting legacy. After the end of World War II, Churchill's career didn't wane. Instead, he continued to shape the world stage, notably returning as Prime Minister for a second term. This period saw him navigate Britain through the early years of the Cold War, further cementing his reputation as a strategic and tenacious leader. In 1946, Churchill delivered a speech that would echo through the ages. Known as the Iron Curtain speech, he warned of the growing threat of Soviet power, coining a phrase that encapsulated the tension of the Cold War era. His prescience in recognizing and articulating this threat was emblematic of his leadership style. Forthright, unafraid, and always a step ahead. But Churchill was more than a politician. He was a historian, a writer, a man of letters. His 6-volume memoir, The Second World War, is a testament to his literary prowess and his deep understanding of global politics. It was for this work that he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1953, an honor that underscored his far-reaching influence beyond the realm of politics. Churchill's death in 1965 brought about a wave of national mourning. His state funeral was a testament to the deep respect and admiration he commanded, not just in Britain but around the world. Yet his death did not mark the end of his influence. Many modern leaders have drawn inspiration from Churchill's leadership style, his tenacity, his courage, his commitment to his convictions. His life serves as a beacon for those who aspire to lead, reminding us of the power of resilience in the face of adversity. Churchill once said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." Truly, his indomitable spirit continues to inspire us all.